morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses. The Big A Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling, joining you from beautiful Belmont Park for an 11-race card. A lot to talk about, Anthony, today, so we'll try to get right to things. Head over to NYRA Bets. If you're not a member of NYRA Bets, no better time than the present. Use the promo code MATCH200. Sign up for NYRA Bets, NYRABets.com. We will match the $200 of your initial deposit. Also, I think we have a 10 or 20% of winners. There's a 20% exactas bonus on all your exacta wagers today at Belmont Park. Opt in. I've opted in already. I took care of it.
You did it all yesterday, right?
I did it yesterday. I took your advice. Very good advice, Anthony. Thank you for that. And follow that to opt into these bonuses so you can take advantage of that. And perhaps I'll actually be able to cash an exacta.
Maybe.
I had cashed one yesterday. I'd like 20% on that. All right, what else do we have, Francisco? America's Day at the Races is on FS2 from 12:30 to 4. Of course, you can get the action on the YouTube channel afterwards, as well as regionals, but we'll be on YouTube. But only FS2 from 12:30 to 4 today. All right, race number one. Race number one. I guess logically, it's a discussion between the 5 Strong Point and the 6 Malibu Action. Malibu Action, who you have second and I have third, finished second 2 races back. I guess the deciding point for me as we show that race, Francisco, is that while Malibu Action did run faster that day, I thought Strong Point could, be a little bit more, it's had less experience than Malibu. I'm sorry, Strong Point's had less experience. I've just seen enough of Malibu Action, but obviously one of these two are the likeliest winners.
Yes, I don't disagree with that. Strong Point was getting around the 2 turns for the first time that day, whereas Malibu Anthem had already had some experience on turf going along. Yeah, and I just would imagine that off that race, just only ran Strong Point, only got to a fast track in the debut. I don't think it was that poor of an effort.
Yeah, except the dry track, the wet track races are faster figures, so I don't know why.
Well, it was also later on in the year, and I don't know.
I think it sounds like nonsense to me, but okay.
Okay.
Also, they were longer distance races. Maybe the horses better.
Yeah, I also think that the distance. I think the 1-turn mile on a fast track, this horse will be.
Does it concern you that Malibu Anthem could get loose in this race?
Yes, absolutely. But I also don't. I think maybe Strong Point will be a little bit more aggressively handled today, with that in mind that Malibu Anthem could just try and get loose on them. Hopefully,
Joel looking
can
for
try.
Hopefully elusive second win of the Belmont meet.
Hopefully, Joel can get this horse a little closer today.
He has been strong. He's winning everywhere else. He's not winning here. Matula. Matula seemed like the wise guy horse in here. I picked the horse second. I thought about first. Seems like the interesting horse. Pat Reynolds taking over the training. But, it doesn't seem like the ones Pat's taken over the training of have done anything remarkable. He had a win earlier, but not really in general. But this horse could be the one fuzzy. The rest of them, it's just tough to make strong cases for any of them, really.
Yeah, first start in 6 months for Matula. Kind of has to go from a couple of 3/4-mile races to a mile.
Race number 2. The discussion in race number 2 probably has a lot to do with what you make of the race that involved Gunboat, who, along with the 12 vagaries, both ran well in the August 29th race, which we'll take a look at here. We'll show the stretch run. Gunboat's in front. Gunboat's at a fast pace that collapsed, and I think ran well. Vagaries had a wide trip and was compromised after braking slowly and might run better races. My problem is the horses that came out of this race that ran first and second, they came back and they stunk the place up in the Miss Grillo.
Yeah. Well, I guess I thought Kinchin probably ran a little bit better than you did, but I don't disagree. Underwhelming performance would be
a 67 Buyer in the next start. I'm sorry, with a better trip than McCulloch had.
I know.
And I'm sorry, those were not impressive performances, and I think it's important. I mean, obviously these two horses, both of them can win, and I think they're sort of, to me, were kind of a coin flip. I'm dubious of them, and you've taken somebody else also.
I have. I went to, I don't want to say the fresh face because she's running New York, obviously, but the horse that's not coming out of that race, that's coming out of the Pizza Bianca.
She's run closer to this race than the others, so she's not fresh. She's a different face. A different face.
Thanks, Andy. Fresh is in a different face. Yes.
Well, fresh and different are not actually euphemisms for each other. They're not.
Right, but when you say a fresh face, it's a different face.
No, it's a different face, in a different direction.
Rare form today.
No, I think it's appropriate.
This horse I thought ran a faster race earlier in the meet than the others coming out of the vagaries race. She set the pace. I thought she ran extremely well. You know, Belmont firsters aren't really cranked first time.
Well, I don't agree with that.
He doesn't win a ton of races first
I don't
time
agree with
out.
that. It
He doesn't
seems
win
like
a ton of races first
he
time
wins
out.
with first timers and routes.
does,
He doesn't.
but he doesn't win a
wins
ton
with,
of them.
Yeah, he doesn't win with second time stars either, though. That's the problem.
Right. Well, this
So-
horse went to the this was confusing. This horse went to the dirt, an intended dirt race after I thought a good effort.
We
first
see a
time
lot
out
of
going
Bill
on.
Mott horses on the wrong surface.
And now she gets back to where she belongs. She's a different face.
Yeah, I don't know why they ran this
And
horse in the dirt. I agree with you.
I couldn't believe the morning line. I looked up the morning line. I couldn't believe she was this price on the morning line. I don't think she'll be this price. Maybe they'll bet vagaries and the horses out of that race more heavily than I think they will. But if she's around double digits, I think she offers a little value in here, and I think she's dangerous.
I don't think you're wrong at all. I think she, I mean, if you like Gunboat in here, I'm not sure why you wouldn't at least consider
At
this
twice
horse.
the price.
I agree with you in that situation because the reality is they both ran the same kind of races. And in fact, arguably, and Pizza Bianca came back and ran a good second up at Woodbine and ran a nice figure. Expand the Map hasn't run back, but she's supposed to be a good one of the Europeans.
And Hope
she got
Over-
rained off. So
Hope Over Fear ran her race 5.5 weeks before the others did. So, you would think that maybe she's gotten a little. Well,
that's gobbledygook to me, but
okay.
I just think that this is a horse that ran very well.
Yeah.
I think you're getting into a territory that's irrelevant to the conversation. She ran the same race that Gunboat did effectively. So if you like Gunboat at a much bigger price, I don't know how you could dismiss this horse.
Yeah.
I mean, she was my fifth pick. I couldn't put her there, and I thought about putting her third. I don't have any argument. I don't know. I don't believe there's a cogent argument against what you're saying. I think you're absolutely right. I mean, maybe you get the better. Maybe the reason you're supposed to bet her is you get the better price because they foolishly ran her on the dirt, and so it dirties
She's
her up a
dirtied
little bit, and people may
she was
not.
2-1 on the dirt.
Yeah, I bet against her that day. She ran big. I'm going to go with first-time stars on pedigrees, just because I'm not thrilled with the ones I've
Okay.
seen. And I'm going to take the two My Joy. I love Caroline Thomas. I love those Monterey Young horses.
Sure.
Caroline Thomas was good. This is a second foal. The first one ran like fourth, but never ran back. She ran in the tough maiden race here, and she never ran back. I'm going to use her, and I'm going to use the 9 Shad Nason for Christophe Clement as a half to a turf winner that ran a 91 buyer. The Cairo Prince seems to become a very proficient turf sire. So I'm going to try just new faces and different faces, but I think it's a mistake if people just lean on the two. They may run one, they may win. But I don't
If
think
you're leaning on the 12 and
uh,
6, I don't think it's a good idea to lean on the 12 and
There's a
6
lot
at short
going on in
prices
this race.
based on what's happened since.
I agree. I'll put it this way. To be fair, we've got no clarification that was a good race.
Right.
We've gotten some indications that it
That it
wasn't
might
a
not
good
be a
race.
good race.
But
I would agree with that.
Didn't we have a horse that came back out of that race? That Mott horse actually ran second in the maiden. It was a terrible race, but that Mott horse did run second,
Yes.
right? The Mott horse that was dropping on Thursday.
Yep.
Race number 3. I guess in race number 3, it's what you do with Top Gun Tommy. We'll go back to the race at Saratoga when he finished third behind Winterpool and Auburn Hills. Auburn Hills has turned into a very nice horse. Had a nice win at Churchill subsequent to that. My problem with Top Gun Tommy is he doesn't win.
Doesn't win. Well, I mean, is it fair to say
He won, but he hasn't. He hasn't 5 straight races. I mean, they have him in super short prices. His last race disappointed me.
His last race was not very good. His last race was not very good.
And Wildbanker's okay, but he just blew him away.
Off of his 2 prior efforts, you would have expected him to go down to Monmouth Park and just boss those horses around at 3-5, and he didn't.
And he should have beaten My First Grammy. I bet him that day. He had dead aim on him, and he just kind of hung. I'm worried he's turning into a bit of a hanger.
There's really no defense for some of his actions. There really isn't.
Well, I guess the defense is he lost to Run and Ray and Winterpool, and those are pretty good horses.
He's running against.
Right.
And I think you can say this here. He's run against much better.
Yeah. Yes.
He's run against much better.
I
if
completely
you're going
agree.
to, assess class in a starter allowance race, he's the class of this field.
Yeah, I'm going to take Mr. Briggs because I'm going to continue to bet horses that were against the racetrack opening week here. And Mr. Briggs was really 2-3 wide around the track. The winner came back along the gold rail to beat him. And even though you say, well, he paired up a 79 buyer race before the claim, see, I'm going to say that he actually improved for Linda Rice because he was against the racetrack.
Sure, of course.
And I think he can move that figure in the low to mid 80s. And suddenly he's competitive to be the horse if you want to bet against Top Gun Tommy. So I'm going to take him off an against the track trip because I just felt like I want to pick somebody else. I thought about Boldish. I don't know. Boldish has no speed. I feel like Mr. Briggs is forward. I'd rather take a horse who's forward. Geocare was wide to nowhere last time, but
Geocare was the interesting
kind
horse.
of a plotter.
Well,
isn't
yeah,
he?
you know why he was interesting to me a little bit, and again, you'll talk about Fooey here, but
I'm sure it's Fooey.
getting to the one turn. All of his races
Sure,
have been
it's
around 2 turns, and I think his running style may be better suited for Belmont Park. And he's gonna be a
Not
little-
in this
and he's
race.
gonna be a little bit of a, well,
Not in
yeah,
this race,
that
'cause
could
there's
be
no
his
speed in here,
Well,
so
Blue
it's-
Grotto's going to go from the rail, and Top Gun Tommy's going to be forward. I would imagine
You live in a
Mr. Briggs
dream
is
world.
forward.
You live in a dream world with these paces. Didn't you say yesterday you were going to stop with this
Yeah, no, but
nonsense?
what I'm saying, I didn't say they were going to go fast, but I mean, I think there'll be a little pace in here. You don't think that between Mr. Briggs,
No.
Top Gun Tommy,
No.
and Blue Grotto?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I
All
don't.
right.
No, I don't.
I
And
did.
you know what? The no, I don't opinion. It's been the winning opinion 99% of the
Well,
time.
I'm
around.
not
I don't know.
disagreeing.
The 10-horse wired the field last 7 furlong
How-
turf race.
How about I was hanging out with
I
Phil
told
for
you
a
you
little
had to
while,
use the speed horses.
and I 23 and change opening quarter.
Yeah, I know.
How does he get loose?
Nobody goes. How does he get loose? I don't know, Anthony. How many times you got it banged over the head before you say that like, just give up?
Andy went 23 and change.
How many
How
times?
did that happen?
Because it happens here every
How about the
day.
price he
There are
was?
races here every day with 3 and 4 speeds when somebody wires the field in a slow pace. Every
7 to 1.
single
How
day.
that horse was? Could you imagine if you knew that horse was going to get loose at 7 to 1? How much money would you have bet on him?
I don't know. About that.
You'd have bet on him.
Well, her. I picked her second, so obviously
Right.
I wasn't shocked that she won. The reason I picked her second was I thought she was good enough, and as I said to you, the 2's the logical horse, but I'm going to use the 10 and 3 because one of them might get
get loose on a lead.
because nobody goes.
They were 1-2 around a racetrack.
And Manny went, and everybody
until
went.
the end of the race.
And I think the 3 showed unequivocally, ho, 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 that she just can't win a race unless she's on the front end.
Yep.
Race number 4, I'll tell you something, Matt Doyle ran well last time. You know, people will forget Matt Doyle, and we'll show the replay of Matt Doyle pan and head out of the start of the race, got in the same trouble that the number 2 did. And the 2 was Command and Performance, who came back and finished a very good second in the Champagne and ran a healthy buyer speed figure. So he was actually just as compromised as that one. And we'll show you the start, and it's kind of dark, but you'll see the winner of the race comes over. And not only does Command Performance gets bothered, but so does Matt Doyle. And while Matt Doyle didn't run as well as Command Performance, he didn't run that badly. And Command Performance would be about 1 to 9 if he was in this race and not in last week's Champagne.
No question about
based
it.
on that. So the question is, you want a first-time starter. Supposedly Zandon is working well, so I've taken Zandon over Matt Doyle, but I'm going to use those 2 and nobody else.
Okay. I heard the same thing about Zandon. I picked him as well.
Yeah, David Argona told me the horse was working well.
Matt Doyle did run very, very well first time out. I don't disagree with that. Want to take a little look at Shansu. Those Pletcher firsters keep on firing.
You love the pedigree for Roslyn. Looks like a bullet. Whoo, those Roslins. Do you remember what Roslyn's most famous for? She's a really good horse.
Yeah, she was.
Who trained her?
That was Del Romans.
She was trained by Ken McPeak.
Kenny McPeak.
And then she was trained by Chad Brown. But she's probably most famous for throwing a rider in the Epsom Derby, I think. Is it the Epsom Derby?
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then she came back and she ran like the Belmont Oaks like a week later or something. Or ran a race
that's
here.
right.
She ran-
Kenny McPeak. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Second in the.
She ended up with Chad. I think she would.
Alcibiades, I believe.
She might have. I mean, she was good on all surfaces.
Yeah.
She got 88 on the dirt, a 91 on synthetic, a 99 on turf. She was solid. I mean, she won a decent amount of money. She's a nice horse, but she was really kind of more of a plotting distance type horse.
He got that horse to win the other day with a distance pedigree.
Well, this is Speightstown.
Yeah.
What an amazing sire he is. He's getting older. But that horse ran well yesterday. That horse got a 77 buyer. Yeah. That horse, the Tapit's okay. We'll see. I'm going to go Zandon and Matt Doyle. Race
This
number.
starts the bonus pick 5, by the way, the mandatory payout, races 4 through 8.
The 5th race is the Vosburg. And in the Vosburg, my opinion is to bet against Frenzy Fire. We'll take a look at Frenzy Fire, and everybody can get all excited about the Savage. And guys like you and I that have been around the racetrack for 100 years have seen enough of these that it wasn't as big a deal to us as everybody else, right? I mean,
I've gotten bit on the neck walking past the horse. You know, if you ignore.
But how many times have you seen horses Savage?
1,000.
Not
You
1,000, but a lot.
ignore the construction cone in front of a horse's stall. This is gonna happen to you as well.
This was a surprisingly aggressive one. I don't believe he would have won.
I don't either.
I also think that was a phonied up race. The speed held. And listen, Frenzy Fire, I don't want to knock him
Andy,
because
he's getting back to Belmont. Don't you know he's a Belmont Park horse?
he ran a 102 buyer in his last race at Saratoga. He's a good horse.
I'm jesting, of course.
The reality of him is that he is a very nice horse who's been extremely opportunistic. And if either the 3 or 5 show up, I believe they're going to beat him. And, you know, you look at those races, the Run Happy, slow paces. He beat Chateau, who was going the wrong way. He had a slow pace against Flagstaff, the Mind Control race. And, you know, he's okay. But I just feel like either or both of the 3 and 5, Baby Yoda and Following C, have the potential to be better than okay. And I believe at least one of them will beat him. So I'm going to pitch him and use the 3-5.
Here's Baby Yoda with this 1/4. This is the biggest figure of the year, correct?
No.
No.
Ty's the biggest figure.
Ty's the biggest figure of the year. A 114 buyer speed figure, 114-1 up at Saratoga here, beating stablemate Olympiad. Obviously, a enormous step up in class here, but that's on paper. If you're right about Forensic Fire and being opportunistic, and you know, Following C, as much potential as I think we both think
We'll
he
get to him in a
has,
second.
he still has to step up. Is it really that big of a class increase? I mean, he's going to be favored
Baby
off that
Yoda
last
beat.
race.
He should be.
He should be.
We'll see. It's close. Baby Yoda beat some pretty good horses last time.
did.
He just beat them. He crushed them. And the reality is that Baby Yoda is the only horse out there that has the potential to be favored in the Breeders' Cup Sprint over Jackie's Warrior, because if he pairs up those kind of sensational figures,
Right.
he could be favored.
He does the
in
same
the
thing.
Breeders'
He
Cup
does
Sprint.
something similar to what he did last time today.
He improves on it. I don't know where it came from. It certainly surprised Bill Mott, too. I know they liked the second horse. It ran a 105 buyer and somehow got beaten by 4 1/4 lengths. It's at 7-1. I bet him. I'm still bitter, as I should be.
They'll let it go.
I don't know where it came from. I don't think they knew where it came from, but he ran it.
He ran it.
And it was legit. It was totally legit. So, you know, and the other thing is, there's a lot of talk at Saratoga about the track being speed friendly. I don't agree with that. I think the track was closer unfriendly.
There's a
And
big
so
difference.
it made it helped speed, because one of the reasons that I refused to call it a speed track in doing the track trends, there were a couple of days I thought speed might have had an advantage. I think you have to look at the buyer figures, and if horses are winning the front end but they're not running any faster than they normally run, they're not
that
being
really an
helped
edge?
by the
Right.
racetrack.
Right.
They're running their races, but I think frequently a lot of horses coming from behind didn't run their races because they were hindered by the racetrack, and I think that's, in my opinion,
there
what
is
you're
a
looking
big-
for
there's
back
a
here.
difference, right.
And so I don't believe that Baby Yoda was helped along by the racetrack.
ran.
He just ran.
He just ran.
I don't know where it came from. I'm sure Bill Mott probably doesn't know where it came from, but he's got to try him in a race like this. I think he's the most interesting horse running in this country today.
I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, because he has a chance.
To be a superstar,
To be a
in this
superstar.
game. I mean, we don't see those figures that much. And
No.
if you got a horse that's consistently running in the mid to high teens buyer sprinting, he'll be winning every single sprint he's in by a pole because they're running hundreds.
And that's the thing, right?
Jackie Warrior did
There's
run a
nothing
111
more-
last
there's
time, to be
nothing
fair
more-
to him,
there's
110 or
nothing more
111.
exciting than when they have these
Yeah,
real
really
fast
good.
sprinters,
I
right?
agree. I mean, listen. I was here for Groovy, and Phone Trick, and those really, really good Artax, Midnight
Monster.
Loot.
Yeah,
Those
monster.
horses ran. Benny the Bull ran some huge figures. Those guys. Nowadays, it seems like 103 buyers, and that's why I would never knock a Whitmore. I would never knock a Forensic Fire, but they're not running.
But you don't get over the top. You don't get as over the top with some of the sprinters that some people do. Because
I remember.
Because you remember.
I remember the truly
even
fast
a horse
sprinters.
even a horse like Housebuster. He was
114. He was a very fast horse. I agree.
Horse,
As far as Following C, the horse that I picked on top in this race, they got ambitious at a mile and an eighth. He couldn't keep up with the big boys last time out. Today at 6 furlongs, this is the day to see what he can do. I still believe that this is a good horse, and I'm going to give him a chance. He's going to be third choice here, probably 3-1, 7-2 is third choice, maybe a little higher.
You're going to get a price on him that there's a chance, unless he's in a race like the Breeders' Cup, you're never going to see again.
I just
right?
think, yeah. Well,
he's one of those types.
You may never see it again because they won't be running in ambitious spots if he can't be effective here. I'm going to take a shot. That's the first 5. Anthony will be back with the pick 6, which somehow was hit yesterday.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
I can't hear because oh, okay. We're back.
We're on, Andy.
Well, I had to take my earpiece out because there was a conversation going on behind it that had nothing to do with us.
You know, mine's it's a little low today, so I thought I heard something.
Race number 6 is the
I hear
Matron,
voices all the
9-horse
time.
field after scratches. Wesley Ward's going to run both his fillies against the boys, I presume, tomorrow. Ben Bang came out as well. I think the key race that they're coming out of is the Lady Danae and Bubble Rock race, the maiden race on August 13 at Saratoga. We'll take a look at here. Why would you have Bubble Rock on top and not Lady Danae in the first 4? Did you not notice she was running in this race?
I did know she was running in this race.
Okay, what did I miss?
I don't know. I thought she was pretty fortunate to win first time out.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? She got the exact same trip the other horse got.
Thought she was pretty fortunate to
Oh,
win
she-
first time out. I thought Bubble Rock came back and kind of validated her performance a little
Okay,
more
fine.
than
You've
this
got
filly
Bubble
did.
Rock. You think Bubble Rock's going to beat her today? That's fine. How can you have Bubble Rock on top and
I
not?
don't like her.
Why?
I didn't like her last race
Yeah,
one bit.
that's a
now,
problem.
I know. Well, yeah, the Kentucky Downs races, I understand that, but I just didn't.
No,
like
you
her
don't
race last
understand
time.
it. The thing about Lady Danae, and in my opinion, why she's a tremendous bet today, is that people like Anthony will just assume that she ran badly last time, and they won't realize that she was 5 wide on a racetrack where if you weren't saving ground for at least a significant portion of the race, you had absolutely no chance whatsoever. That was as biased a course as you'll see. It was the last day. They had chewed up the course, and she was out in the middle of the track the whole way around the racetrack and never, ever had a fair chance. So I've been waiting for her to come back. I was hoping she'd come back against Bubble Rock. Now, I respect Bubble Rock. She moved forward off her win. I'm not saying she can't win. She certainly can. But I think that you have to be very careful to pay any attention to Danae's last race. I think, if anything, it makes her a better bet. You know, Mystic Eyes, she was down the inside, 2-path in the stretch. These horses really benefited. The winner came up the gold rail in there. And if you watch those races, race after race after race, you had to be on the rail. And that's why Joel Rosario was winning so many races, because he was staying on the rail. So I couldn't disagree with you more about this. I have no issue with Bubble Rock. But to dismiss Lady Danae, who beat her fair and square first time out and then was way against the track, I think is to miss the race. What else in here? You've got the 3-second Mystic Eyes.
I thought Mystic Eyes ran well in both of her starts. Yeah.
With the track and all.
Yeah. It's tough to go wire to wire in those Kentucky Downs
No, it
races.
isn't. No, it isn't, actually. It's not.
I
You
think
didn't pay
for the-
attention to
for
Kentucky
the
Downs, that's
younger
fine,
horses-
but-
for the
but-
younger horses, I think it is. And now she goes back to 6 here in New York.
They get older, they're better on the front end?
I thought she
Come on,
was. I
stop.
thought she was going to be really tough today as well. I wanted those two. You might be right. Listen,
Well, I am right. Whether Lady Danae wins or not
I'll
is
tell
another
you one
question, but
thing.
she was way against the track.
There's a chance Mystic Eyes can get loose on these horses. I guess unless Making My Move transfers her speed from the dirt to the
Can't
turf.
imagine they're rating her.
Yeah, I can't imagine. But we saw it yesterday with that horse in the 7th race. She didn't have her speed
I
on the
find this
turf.
to be a very strange move. Now, I know that Making My Move is a gotta-go Mo, and that's probably why he's going to the turf and taking a shot. Maybe he wants to see if you have a Breeders' Cup horse, I suppose. That's a possibility. He's taking a shot. We'll see. There's always time in the future to go back to the dirt and run against New York Breds. I think Mainstay is very, very dangerous in here. Mainstay's a good horse. And Mainstay, while more notably is a half to Vequist, who won the Breeders' Cup last year, she's also a half to Voting Agreement, who broke her maiden first time on the turf for Chad Brown and was impressive. And Voting Agreement is more than ready, but this horse has a turfy type sire from down in Australia. So I think Mainstay is a very dangerous horse in this race. And as opposed to Making My Move of a maiden win, this horse was running competitively in stake races, and frankly didn't run that badly last time as well. No, I think she is extremely dangerous. You don't have her in here at all either. I mean, how is the club going to win this race? This horse is going to fall into a crevice.
I thought.
I mean, a lot of horses got to fall into a crevice for the club to win, right? Okay. We disagree significantly
Yes.
about the Matrix.
We're all over the place.
No, we disagree. I don't know if we're all over the place. I think we strongly disagree. Race number 7, the Joe Hirsch. So, Gufo, Japan, and Cross Border. Take a look at that last race. I think Gufo and Japan are kind of a coin flip. I probably should have put them the other way, second and third. And my problem with Gufo is, and he's probably the horse to beat, is he really that good?
You don't like this horse.
No.
He's not a fan of Gufo.
He's just okay. I think because of his name, people have adopted this horse as some sort of really good
Wait,
horse.
hold on a minute. What does that mean?
Because he has a funny name.
Think he has a good name?
Yeah, he has a funny name. I think that absolutely has a lot to do with it.
Wow. Okay.
You don't?
I don't look at stuff like that.
No, I think his name has a lot to do with it.
Okay.
He's okay. I feel like this race is crying out for a fresh face. The problem is there really isn't one.
No, that doesn't exist here. Japan's the freshest face, and we've already seen
He
it.
ran just now against Gufo.
Yeah.
I don't believe that Ryan Moore gave him a bad ride. I thought he had every chance to catch Gufo, and he just couldn't
Couldn't
get by
get
him
him.
in the stretch.
I don't disagree.
I thought they both had pretty good trips. If anything, Gufo made the first move, which is not always the winning move in those races.
Well, with the and here comes Hui with
sure
the
he got plenty
blinker
of it.
with the blinkers.
He
This
hasn't-
horse is engaged earlier in the
Well,
stretch.
in one of his two races.
Well,
he
both
did.
of the races, no, Andy. He
It was a-
engaged
well,
earlier than he ever
hang
had.
on a second. They were mile-and-a-half races, and he wasn't running that far. I'm a little skeptical. The blinkers have made a change. We'll see. Listen, he can win. I don't know.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, I know. You
This is a horse I do like.
I know.
I'm a fan of this.
I think that look at Arklow. Let's look at Arklow. So, I know that Florent Giroux got vilified for this ride. I didn't think he gave the horse a bad ride. I thought he got unlucky.
I thought he got unlucky too. Yeah. I don't
thought he
think
got
that means-
unlucky giving him a good ride.
Yeah. I
I thought he
Yeah.
was giving him a good ride. He got unlucky.
I don't. Right.
What was he supposed to do?
Nothing. Imperador and Imperador got a great ride in here.
Yes, he did.
And got the jump on him, and he was just stuck behind some horses. And listen, he came running late in them, and he fell a half length
Here's
short.
my
He wasn't really short.
problem, my question, I should say, for people who like Arklow today, and he can win. He's not impossible. If he had won that last race by a length and a half, would you like him today? Or are you just picking him because he had trouble
right.
last time?
Right. Well, I will
Maybe
say
you
that-
would. Maybe you would like him.
Maybe
if he
you
won
would
by a
like
length and a half.
him.
I
I'll s-
wouldn't.
I'll
but,
say this.
and I don't know. He would have won by a length and a half. But
He's very interesting in here because he's the kind of horse that can win the race, and you're gonna probably get your price on him. Like if you think he should be 5-6 to 1, I think the way the money has to fall, he has to. You have to get your price. So it's, are you really making a bad bet? I see where you're coming from. Did you, if he won, what would you say?
I don't like.
He'd have been
Arklow.
half the price.
I don't like Arklow. He's going to be 5 to 1. I don't like him.
Yeah.
Could he win? Yeah, I
He
guess
can
he
win.
could.
He can obviously
Yeah.
win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not enamored with Gufo in Japan, so I
Right.
I like Channel Maker. We'll show Channel Maker winning this race last year.
We have the last 3 winners.
The
here,
question, it sounds right. The question is that, can he still run effectively? Well, we'll find out today. We'll find out today.
And we're going to find out today, and he's going to be allowed to do his thing today.
Yeah, he's going to be in front.
Yeah.
Opposed to last time where he had to run hard to outrun
He's not going to.
Tribuven. What happened to Tribuven? I thought he was being pointed this race.
I don't know. In all likelihood, he's not going to have to run anywhere near as hard as he did early on last time.
You get his chance to control
he's gonna
today.
get his chance to
I don't have a
control.
lot of confidence in him, but I don't have a lot of confidence in any of these horses, so I'm going to give him one last
Right.
chance.
If you are not a Gufo fan and you think Japan just couldn't run him down last time, this is the horse you have to take. I'm a Gufo fan. I thought about putting him on top as well. I am worried a little bit that now, at the age of 7, maybe he has lost the step.
Yeah.
And,
No, it's entirely
but
possible.
again, if you like him and you don't think that highly of Gufo in Japan, you're going to get your price on him because he's another horse. He's got to be 5-6 to 1 today.
We'll see how it plays out in the Joe Hirsch. Race number 8. Race number 8. We'll take a look at a race that Phantom Smoke ran second in, who you have on top, and Neuro finished 4th, and Neuro ran second last time. Why do you think Phantom Smoke will beat Neuro today?
I want the horse that's going to be
Overbet?
closer. And I think Phantom Smoke, who worked out a pretty good trip last time, is going to work out another.
Isn't
pretty
he going
good
to be a
trip today.
fraction of the price? Isn't he
I
kind of a
don't
phony?
know. I think Neuro's going to take money in here.
Yeah, I see I see it very differently than
Yeah.
you. I don't like Phantom Smoke. I don't think he had any real running in here. I think he should have won the race. He was losing ground at the end, actually. This was a race that was basically dominated by. They ran 1, 2, 3 around the racetrack, and Neuro was the only horse to make up ground last time out. 1, 3, 4, 5. They all it was a merry-go-round race last time that Nuro ran in, and he was able to close, and he lost a brutal bob. I don't like that Nuro is obviously 1 for 16 with 4 seconds. I don't disagree with that. See, I don't agree with the morning line. I think the Nuro will be a much bigger price. I think Phantom Smoke, if Phantom Smoke could be 5-2 in his last race for no apparent reason whatsoever, he's going to be a much shorter price again today. I think he was ridiculously bet last time. I think he'll be ridiculously overbet again today. And do I think he can win? Maybe, but I don't think he's much worse.
Okay.
I mean, I just think his last race is a mirage.
You don't like Sheriff Bianco at all, huh?
No, whatever.
Not worried about him just
I haven't.
getting to the front and just running away from these horses?
Oh, no. Yeah, I don't like him.
Really?
No. Well, wait a second. What's Brock Moninoff going to do?
Andy, he's so much faster than Brock Moninoff. It's not even
Okay,
funny.
he's not, but okay. He's
sure
not.
he is.
No, Anthony, he's not. Once again, one day you'll look at pace figures. He's not. Could he be in front of him? Maybe. Will he be in front of him? I don't know. That's going to depend on the riders. But no, he's not so much faster. And if you actually looked at pace figures, you'd know that he isn't. Sheriff Bianco won under an absolute. I mean, the horse that went the lead that he stalked was 100-1 last time. To be honest with you,
he had a big price
how
trying
did the
to run
horses?
down,
How
too,
did the
right?
horses that
No, they haven't.
they didn't come back and run that well? Now they did run 7 furlongs next time. I think Sheriff Bianco finally got it done. No, Sheriff Bianco, he's going to win without me in this race. I don't like him. You see this race being more forward. I don't. I want horses closing. I think more like it will benefit, believe it or not, from less distance in this race. I'm not going to be shocked if Our Troubadour picks up Luis Saez if he rides the horse better than he rode Rudy's horse in the first race yesterday. That was quite a trip.
Let me ask you a question. What do
yeah.
you do with Uncle George?
I put him fourth. He's
Right,
been a money
he's
burner his whole
He's
career.
been interesting. He's been a money burner, but
Well, where's his good race?
yeah,
His first race, he got a supersonic pace that collapsed.
fresh gelding. He did win first time out. Maybe the freshening helps him. I mean, he's been gone a long time, almost a year.
I'd rather bet him at twice the price than Phantom Smoke. I don't like Phantom Smoke, and I don't like Sheriff Bianco.
Right.
They'll probably run 1-2, but I don't like them. I think you think this race is going to be one more forward. I think this is a race that has the potential to be won dominated by horses that are making closing moves. You and I think that we have a basic difference in this race. Doesn't make me right, but I think that's the basic
I got you.
difference.
Yeah, I do see it more forward than you do.
Race number 9. We got Villainous off the Tom Morley claim. We'll take a look at Villainous running third, 2 back in a race that would probably make him tough. So is the Tom Morley train going to keep on rolling along?
It certainly has a chance to. Yeah, I mean, this horse has done. The problem is this horse has done very little running. He's done very little running on the circuit. I don't think that's something you can argue. And he's done his better work out of town. Now, Tom's Barn is doing exceptionally well at the meet, so I think you have to respect this horse. But has he really done that much running on this circuit, Andy? He really hasn't.
Well, he's
I mean,
ran a race 4 back that would make him tough. And
Yeah,
here he ran a
I
race 5
guess.
back that would make him tough. He ran a race here 6 back that would make him tough.
Yeah, I'm not going
He
to
ran a race here 10 back.
I'm not going to
Wait,
go off
no,
the
no,
mile
no,
and 3/8
no,
fig.
Anthony, no, you're wrong. His race got plenty of fast races on this circuit. He's got an 85 buyer showing. He's got a 91 buyer showing. He's got an 89 buyer showing. He's got an 84 buyer showing. So, in answer to your question, yes, he's run just fine on this
Okay.
circuit. Well, but that's a fact. I mean, you asked the question, and I answered yes, he has. So why do you like the 4 Cantrell Hill?
I just like him stretching back out. I don't love the drop. I mean,
Playing from Gargan,
yeah,
Diodoro,
I
Amos.
don't love it. I think this horse is probably a little bit more accomplished, going a little longer, and I just like this horse back on the stretch out.
Okay, I picked him because of this trainer stat. Linda Rice has crazy numbers stretching horses out. Obviously, she agrees with Anthony. Off the claim, stretching them out from sprints to routes. She's got terrific numbers. I thought that was interesting. Are you
Almost
scared of
50%.
Daddy Nose wiring the field?
Yeah, I mean,
or do you think Baby I'm Perfect
well,
has
Baby
to
I'm
go over
Perfect
the
has
rail?
to be the speed, right?
I don't know who the
Isn't he
speeds
a little
are.
faster? And
I don't-
from the rail. Well,
It's
the
very
problem
close.
Is it's a rat.
He's faster, but
Yeah.
but it's not. It's pretty close. I mean, Baby. I think that Daddy Nose is actually faster. They just haven't ridden him like he is. He's a tough horse to ride.
He's right. He gets out and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I
Mr.
think he's
Buff's-
dangerous.
Mr. Buff's baby brother. Yeah.
Yeah, don't you think he's dangerous in here, Daddy
Sure.
Nose?
I mean,
like
with
Grump's
Baby,
little
I'm-
tots.
Yeah.
Compromised by the track a little. Didn't love the last race, but thought he could win. I could use any of the 2-4. I could use any of 2, 4, 7, 8.
Okay.
Good luck with the 1. We could bet on the lunches here. Let's win a
No,
lunch.
I'm not betting any lunches in this race. Kidding.
You're no fun. You used to be much more fun.
Yeah. That's my problem. I'm not fun anymore.
90 lunches ago. 90
I
lunches
have a
ago,
lot-
you were.
I have a lot of problems. Fun is not one of them, my friend.
90 lunches ago, you were much more
I'm
fun.
Mr. Fun.
I thought race number 10, Mr. Fun. And people wonder why I abuse him. Race number 10, I found this race to be very, very tricky. Now, with the pace, let's look at Shecky Shabazz and Noble Emotion here. I'm not trusting Shecky Shabazz to keep moving forward in the new barn. I think Noble Emotion can win. He actually has been running fairly well consistently, but he's got to deal with Shecky Shabazz, and I think when he's been effective, he's been able to control. But I don't think he's impossible here. I would use Noble Emotion. I will not be using Shecky Shabazz.
I won't be using Shecky either. Sad day.
Is this the first Wayne Potts barn horse you haven't done the
And
top
that's my
three?
boy to
Wow.
boot. Yeah.
He's your boy?
Shecky. I'm the biggest Shecky Shabazz fan there is. Kidding? Yeah, Noble Emotion. I thought about putting Noble Emotion on top, but he's got to deal with Shecky Shabazz
Anthony,
today.
you never thought about putting him on top.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I absolutely
There
did.
was absolutely never any
I
point when you
absolutely
opened
did.
the peepees in this race
I
that you weren't
absolutely
putting
did.
this horse on
I
top.
absolutely
You
did.
were putting Voodoo Zip.
No, I thought
you
about
were
it.
putting Voodoo Zip. He knows.
I thought
Yeah,
about
Anthony
it, I'm
went
telling you.
nothing, but he can't win. He's moving up again. Oh, Voodoo Zip, he's winning. Okay, who do I have second? Who do I have third?
telling you, I
That's how
thought about
Anthony
it.
handicapped this race.
I
You
know-
know it. I
believe
know
me,
it. He's
I
lying.
really tried
Let's look
to
at
make
Voodoo
this
Zip
horse-
while this
I made
nonsense
this-
is going
I
on here.
tried
I'm
to
going to
make this
gag
horse
for him
lose.
while Pinocchio's nose is growing over here. You're so full of it. It's just you gotta be kidding.
Oh, my
Really,
God.
really.
Oh,
Even
Lord.
Pete's laughing at home, and there's no question. Your other friends are laughing. Phil is laughing hard at this. Anyway, this is Voodoo Zip beating Big Package and beating him quite handily two back. And last time he tried a two-turn mile. I think the question with Voodoo Zip is a real question also for my top choice. Are you confident that he'll be as good at 6 furlongs?
No, and
Because
that's
there is a
why
real
I
difference.
thought about putting Noble
No,
Emotion
you-
on top. I'm
you
telling you.
didn't.
I'm telling you the truth, Andy.
No, you're not. You're
That's why I thought about it.
You're
But
lying.
at the end of the day, I couldn't
You're
resist
lying.
that combination.
You're lying.
You know that.
If the
It's
6
it's
was,
like kryptonite.
if Noble Emotion was the 3 and Voodoo Zip was the 6, I could think that was a possibility, but I don't believe it.
man.
As far as Chocolate Bar, not great stats on these cutbacks for Mike Maker, but I look at this horse, I'm wondering if he's not better around one turn to steal something from Anthony.
Yeah.
Thought that Sanctuary City race
good.
was good. I look at those races, and I started to think, his last race wasn't that bad. Here's the thing about Chocolate Bar. He's fast enough to win this race.
And you know
He's
what's weird,
fast
too?
enough to win, and he's
The
going to be a
dirt
big
sprint
price.
was actually a decent
Yeah.
enough race where maybe he gives you an inclination that cutting back
so
is going to be okay.
I want to take a shot with him sprinting because the other thing is he's as fast, if not faster, than anybody in this race, and he's not going to be 3-1. He's going to be
No,
every bit of 5 to 8 to 1 in
Yep.
this race.
You're gonna get your
I
middling
don't love
price on
him,
him.
but I tell you what, I agonized in this race. I tried to make a case for duress. He has been pathetic
Those
in his
last
last
two,
two.
Andy.
Pathetic,
Oh,
I
my
agree.
God.
His race 3 back. You'd probably be betting him. He actually ran well. That race collapsed at the end. He was the only
Yep.
horse close
The
to the
only
base
horse
and held, but
close.
his last
Yeah,
two races
off
have
the
been
way off and
atrocious.
everything. That was a big
But
race.
I got him in there somewhere because I know somewhere he can win this race, but I can't trust him.
Yeah, hard to trust him.
Race
off those
number
last
11. How are we doing for time? Oh, we got oodles of time here.
two. Oodle.
I like this horse in the last race, the number 6 Tackle. This is Tackle's race last November. While against the bias on opening weekend at Aqueduct, he finished second, never seeing the rail. The winner was on the rail. Neuro was on the rail. Everybody spent most of the race on the rail. The winner closed on the outside, but he was on the rail for most of the race. But not Tackle. Then Tackle came back, and they tried a maiden special weight with him. Now, remember, he was entered in a maiden claiming race. They tried a maiden special. He stunk. That's okay. I'll give him one more chance. He might not be able to run anymore, but if he can,
That was
he'll beat
open
these.
last time, too.
Yes, he will beat these if he can still run.
Okay.
You don't have him anywhere.
I don't like him.
Oh, nowhere. Okay.
I don't like him last
Okay.
time. I don't
Oh,
like
good. Well, I want to bet you'll beat the 3. You got the 3 third, so surely you want to make that bet.
him. Sure.
Okay. 2 lunches?
Not one.
1. Okay. We're at 90.
Actually,
Anthony won.
I should have got a price on
No,
that.
too late.
5 to 1,
Too
12
late.
to 1.
Too late. 6
That's all
over
right.
3.
I didn't like his last race.
1 lunch. Okay. You didn't like his last race. That's all that matters.
No, it's not all that
No,
matters.
no,
Well,
apparently it is. So we'll take a look at Viking Zim and Ghost Mom. I think with Viking Zim, who I know you've got in there somewhere,
4th.
I think you have to be concerned because I know it's not Wayne Potts for the Wayne Potts barn. They have terrible numbers off the claim with turf routers, but obviously he's very logical off of his race. This race second was good enough. I don't trust this barn with
That's fine.
claims with turf routers.
Yeah, this was a tough. I mean, I had a tough.
Well, I don't know. You picked the logical horse and Sandra the Great.
and that's what I.
What do you mean a tough time? You picked the horse to beat.
I thought
How
it
tough was that?
I thought it was a tough race, so I just went to the horse that is the horse to beat.
See,
because
I'm going to disagree with that.
I don't trust the rest of them,
If you think a race is tough, aren't you supposed to stay away from the favorite?
Yes and no. I see where
No,
you're coming.
no.
I see.
No.
I see where
If
you're
race
coming
is
from,
tough,
yeah.
it means that you think the favorite's vulnerable.
I see where you're coming from. No, I don't think the favorite's vulnerable. Well, I do.
So you
think the
don't
favorite's
think this is a
vulnerable.
tough race?
I do think the favorite's vulnerable.
But you still picked it. You got the white hot Joel Rosario.
I don't trust the rest of them, and this is his first time for a tag on the turf. And if he runs, if he runs one of his races,
I picked him second. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm teasing
you know.
you, but I think that if you think a race is super tough, that's when you're supposed to try to beat the favorite.
I guess.
That's all I'm saying.
I guess.
I think this horse is super logical. See, I didn't have a tough time with this race. I thought that the 10 and 12 were the two best horses on what they had done recently. I don't trust the 10 with the claim. The 6 can win this race. There'll be an okay price. I don't know what to do with the last race. Obviously, he may not be able to run. So I didn't have trouble. I thought it was pretty easy because I just think the others were really good enough. And here, and I want to use Sanan. Assuming it's Sanan. I don't love the Union Rags. I'm surprised you don't have this horse anywhere in here. The Dam was 2 for 4 in the turf, ran an 84 buyer, 1 for 2 with her progeny on the turf, Christophe Clement.
Why not? I really wanted to try to make. Here's a stat for Clement. I really wanted to. There was a horse.
You know
in
what it
here.
is? It's those pants.
There was a horse I really wanted to try to make in here, but Flincher's Rock is the last thing you want is one of these appointment only bottom level maidens. But I'll tell you what, Flincher's Rock, you gotta think is just gonna be able to just control in here.
Okay.
And
what does that matter?
I don't know. I don't know how much it matters. And ultimately, I decided that going.
Well, hang on a second.
Walking the dog, going the mile and
You
an
think
eighth.
that Jorge Vargas is going to go with Wicked Karma? No, you don't think Jalen Samuel is going to go with Ghostmon? Well, Fletcher's Rock was in the quick pace last time.
Yeah, you'd like
and
to
he got
see-
completely drowned. So they're going to go back to another fast pace. In a race he got drowned. He set a super slow pace 2 races back.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with him.
Okay, I mean, it's fine if you like him. I didn't see it, but he's a big price. But you don't even have him in your picks.
No, I didn't know. Ultimately, I decided that
But
that
you
pace
didn't
was
think he
just
was
too
as good as
slow,
Brennan's
too bad.
War?
I think Brennan's War is going to run really well today. I really do.
Oh, this is a tip. No,
not at all.
No, it's your
Not
boy.
at all.
It's your boy on Twitter. I
Not
know
at
it's
all.
a tip. I know it is.
Not at all. I thought this horse was going to run well today.
Why?
Well, I had a tough post last time. I thought the race 2 back made him competitive in here.
Okay, he had a tough post, but he actually saved ground for most of the race. He was pushed wide a little bit on the first turn, but then he got the 2 path, and then he was in the rail in the second path.
Tell you what.
He did not run well last time. I'm just telling you, that lacked room
Okay.
in the final, baloney.
Okay.
The problem I had with him, and I gave him a long look too, I actually watched the last replay, was that his second to Noble Conquest was a bad race. That was my problem with him. And I get it. I didn't totally dismiss this horse. I watched it, and you can see I don't have him totally thrown out. I was hoping his last race was better. I was hoping he had a wider trip last time than he ultimately had. He didn't really. He actually got an excellent ride by Dylan in that race.
Okay.
He just didn't have any horse. This race 2 back, though, gives him a chance. I'll give you that. All right. We done? Anybody at Keeneland you like?
Not really.
No?
The
Oh yeah,
Our pet.
I got 5-1 on Classic Causeway in the Numerius Futurity.
Your boy.
You know, I believe that Classic Causeway will be tough in the race. I'm not running to bet. I bet him at 5-1. I bet a lot of money on him, but that's in Fantasyland. But I just think he's supposed to be 2-1. I think there was some missing. The Classic Causeway, the Brian Lynch horse, is going to be a heavy favorite in today's Breeders' Futurity, even from post 13. I wonder if all these people that hate the post, how they're going to feel about him when he's in the 2 path on the first turn.
Yeah.
That horse was one of the most impressive maiden breakers of the entire
May have been
year.
the most impressive maiden winner for Saratoga,
Jack
right?
Christopher and
Jack
my
Christopher.
Prankster
Yeah,
were
Jack
both
Christopher,
very,
probably.
very good. I know my Prankster didn't run back to it, but they were both very good. I'm looking forward to those races. I had no idea in the Colt race. I'll tell you something. I am really interested in Regal Glory in the First
Okay.
Lady. I know this is a big step up for her, and it's not an easy race, but her win, was it the De La Rose last time?
Yes.
was an amazing
She was
win.
good.
There was absolutely no pace.
No.
She was wide on both turns, and she still ran them down. I'd be very careful. And I'll tell you the other thing about Regal Glory is people will forget that she could have been very close to the Justa game if she hadn't blown the break.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I respect the winner of the Diana and the Justa game as well. I think Harvey's Little Goyle is going to run well. She had gotten an atrocious ride in the Diana in her last turf race. She was forward in the dirt race. I think she's dangerous in there, but I'm really interested. I also don't think you're going to get 8-1 in blowout in case you're
No?
interested. No,
You don't think so?
it's a little on the high side. 8-1. Should be 8-1 if she's in the Breeders' Cup Turf Mile. Anyhow,
Well, you could bet all these races today.
I've heard you can bet them at Naira Bets.
Naira Bets.
I've heard that. Yeah. Head on over to nairabets.com if you're not a member. Use the promo code MATCH200. We will match the $200 of your initial deposit. You get a 20% exacta bonus if you opt in, which Anthony and I have done, and you need to opt in too. Once you get used to opting in, like Anthony said, you can just do it before the weekend starts.
Do it on
and so you're in
Friday.
there and get it taken care of. 20% bonus. Can't beat that. Saturdays at Belmont. I believe that's capped, though. Is it capped at
I would
50
imagine
bucks or
it's capped
something?
at $50. Yeah.
And what else we got? America's Day at the Races. We'll be in FS2 12:30 to 4. The rest of it we carried on some Fox Sports Regionals, but also on the YouTube. You can always choose the YouTube channel as well to catch that. America's Day at the Races, all Belmont's action today. We're done.
See you tomorrow.
I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing you guys. I look forward to hearing Johnny I with a reprise, the scratches and changes. Thanks.